I'm going to read three short pieces. This first one is from Door to Door, and I thought it would fit with tonight's theme of sort of mixed genre. It's called Why I Am Not a Novelist. And it's about a young man who lives with his girlfriend in San Francisco. Lights come on in apartments above the shop windows as a man talks to himself along Judas Street. He is the narrator of the novel. He orders a hot pierogi from the Russian bakery and devours it before he has gone a block. Who does she think she is, staring at me from her nail salon? Is it my fault she has no customers? How can I concentrate on my work when I'm under constant surveillance? The man does perform interesting, important work. Its nature is never revealed, but it is crucial to the novel that its significance is credible. Perhaps he is a poet, lost in the novel's urban labyrinth, a counterintelligence agent employed by the wind shear. The streetcar tracks are still slick from an earlier rain as he crosses, guilty that his girlfriend will be hurt that he's not bringing anything home for dinner. Why should I? We have Sunday soup, kidney beans like rubies in mud, and ziti, pasta like small white eggs of amphibians. That's it, an amphibian. That's just how I feel. A woman across the street is fishing for the keys to her front door, while with her other hand she clutches a bag, a pair of baguettes jutting out. Despite her awkwardness, she has such an air of competence that the man imagines spending the night with her. She lives in that romantic foreign country of all people who live alone. That country, no matter how bleak, where people can play their favorite song, Stella Blue, 100 times in a row, and turn on their lamp at 3 in the morning just to see the shadow of the lampshade fall on the wall. How he would love to be there when her fingers come together with a safecracker's finesse to turn the switch. But all he can do now is continue his walk to delay for a few minutes his arrival home. Our mother, who art on Market Street, he prays, waiting for a dryer at the laundromat, hallowed be thy short hair. Help me to fasten the buttons on my coat when my hands are stiff. Help the drivers on all thy trains stay awake and blow the whistles. Help the cat, let out to piss under the fire escape, find his way home. Give us our salt, our uninsurable shelter. Lead us not onto the third rail. Show us thy window, mother, behind the rusted shutters. Show us the secret fingering. A scent of mint haunts the railing as he finally walks up the stairs. When he opens the door at home, he hears the television in the back room playing strange music like a Tibetan chant sung by children from North Carolina. For a moment he thinks he's entered the wrong apartment. He must never have noticed before how dark the wood of the wainscoting is down the hall, how blue the strip of wallpaper. This is only the first chapter, but he hears his girlfriend in the back room chanting a high Appalachian harmony, not knowing yet that he's home, her feet tucked under her ass, junk mail scattered like white petals on the coffee table, and he knows this is the real story. Not what happens next. This is what needs to be told. And I'm going to read a couple short pieces from a newer series I've been working on. These are in the voice of a young woman who lives alone in San Francisco. It occurred to me as I was putting these together that she could be the woman who lives across from the guy in the other piece, although that's not the intention. I'm going to read two pieces in her voice. Work and play. It's not just this. Every written word is a suicide note, and a love letter too. There's no one to talk to who would get it, but maybe if you write it down, someone will get it after you've left the room, or in 500 years. Or maybe someone from Sirius, the dog star, will get it. The composer Karl-Heinz Stockhausen claimed he was born on Sirius. You remember him, the genius who said the crashing of planes into the World Trade Center was the greatest concert ever, although he later conceded that the audience had not been given the option to not attend, and that somewhat diminished its perfection. I heard him interviewed at Davies Symphony Hall before the orchestra played one of his works that sounded like the voices of the parents in a Charlie Brown Christmas that they'd been arguing about real estate. No, I was not impressed by Karl-Heinz. His daughter, Crystal, was a flautist in the orchestra and joined him for the interview. And she said her father used to take her and her brother and sister out on the lawn of their summer house at night and teach them to read each constellation as notes on a stave, and to sing the words of Crystal's favorite nursery rhymes to the melody. The dog ran away in the snow, or go get the sleigh in the cellar. It was a game, but it was hard, work and play at once. God does not write catchy tunes, their father explained to them. You could tell she meant it to be a charming story, but the audience sat in silence. And this last little piece, which actually has a little Mormon subplot. Picnic. Jeffrey and I like to go our separate ways for lunch. I usually had a tuna radish sandwich and ate at my desk. The radishes were my inspiration. I like to think of how they clashed with my lipstick, and they tasted how I like to think my lipstick looked, incongruous. I like to look incongruous, especially to Linda, the office manager, who could have won a prize as Miss Congruity. You knew it would never occur to her to go into a bar and grill that didn't match her shoes. It was hard for Jeffrey to ask me to lunch, and I liked that, too. The first time he asked, I couldn't even speak. I just nodded. In fact, I blushed so hard, I might as well have been saying, yes, I'd marry him. And in one of those Mormon celestial marriages that last forever and is sealed in one of their secret temple rooms with all the mirrors. I toured the Mormon temple in Oakland once. When it was first built, they opened it for a weekend to Gentiles, or whatever they call the rest of us. There was lots of gold and marble, like a Las Vegas casino. Total immersion. I've always wanted to be the cowboy wearing one diamond stud at the blackjack table who goes all in. Or the convert who falls backward into the baptismal water with God's love shooting up her nose. When Jeffrey and I finally had our picnic of BLTs in Bernini Park, I could barely concentrate because of the pregnant woman lying near us on the grass, shielding her eyes from the sun with her mystery, while her belly in its black sheath absorbed the heat and rose before me like the most blatant sexual organ I'd ever seen. She was all in. I couldn't help staring. I couldn't understand how lawyers and clerks and even a beggar and his lop-eared cat could walk past and continue their ordinary business without falling prostrate on the ground like worshippers toward Mecca.